Hey everyone, welcome back. In this week's video, I am going to show you some really great shop improvements that we've made, as well as a custom power hammer build we just started. First up, the shop improvements. So behind me, we switched out our roller stands for our main saw. Now this saw is awesome. We have the Tiger stop, the saw gear on it, which CNC measures everything. We use it at the start of every project. So we're constantly, getting a bundle of steel in for a job, and then it goes onto the saw, gets cut up. Well, the old roller stands that we had were 24 inches wide, and the saw was actually further out, I mean. So what we did is we tucked the saw back in, and we swapped out the wide rollers for these nice compact 6-inch wide rollers. These will be perfect for about 95% of all the stuff that we handle is 6 inches or smaller when we cut it up. Anything really wide, we have some wider roller stands we can bring in to support, because that saw will cut up to 18-inch wide material. But anyhow, when we get those bundles in for jobs, sometimes because of our scheduling, we have to order in material when we get the job, but the job might not get fabricated right away. So sometimes it'll be anywhere from 2, 3, 4 weeks, even several months before we use the material. So when we get those bundles in, how do we stage them? Well, we have these little stands here that we've used for a long time, and they were also 2 feet wide. We shrunk them down for 2 reasons. When the material's real wide, it would actually interfere with the saw when the saw pivots up, but also we couldn't get to this rack to come down here, and take steel off. So now that we have those stands shrunk down, we can stage the heaviest bundles that we receive. I mean, we've put actually probably 2 tons, 3 tons worth of steel on those little stands. They're great. But then if we have other jobs that we need to stage other material for, our shop is a small footprint. We want to save as much room as possible. So we took those wide rollers that we swapped out, and we actually mounted them up on top of the rack so that we can take a bundle of material, hoist it up with the crane, sling it, get it onto those rollers, and just push it down and utilize that dead space between the yellow crane beams and the wall. This is a huge savings of space, really wise use of space. And every square foot matters in the shop. So by tucking the saw back, swapping the rollers out, we probably cleaned up and saved about 40, maybe 50 square foot of space, which is huge. And then, now we have a beautiful staging area on top. If that works as well as I think it is, we may even build that into like a triple decker. There's like 3 shelves, all with rollers that material can be rolled on, strapped up so that it doesn't roll off, and then, taken on and off as needed. The other area that was always super frustrating, I'll move the camera and show you behind that rack. Again, that 10-inch dead space. Okay, so here you can kind of see between the beam and the yellow crane beams, there's about a 10-inch space here that's great for storing odd materials. So what we did was we took all of this material out because it was just falling down and just in such bad organization. We pulled it out, and there's now 1, 2, 3 shelves, also with an actual shelf so you can slide material in and out. These tubes here are 12 foot long, so you can store and nest material in there. We have these organized square, flat, round aluminum. So again, everything just nicely laid out. These are some custom profiles that we have, some stainless steel on the bottom. But again, huge use of largely unused space before that. Yeah, it was used for storage, but it was so badly disorganized. So now that's all organized. We're rocking and rolling. So let's go across the shop and check out the power hammer build. Okay guys, so here it is, our new power hammer build. And this is a really specialty hammer that we're making for a guy out west who builds drum cymbals. He hand hammers brass cymbals, for drummers, and incredible work. He saw some of my earlier videos on, making the 15-pound bulldog hammer and really got interested in getting a hammer of his own. So this is a build that we've begun for him. There's still some work to do, but I do have the main frame welded up. All of this was drawn and laid out in CAD, and I was trying to go for kind of like a beautiful steam hammer type design. This is really deep here for a nice wide cymbal. I think it'll actually handle up to like a 32-inch cymbal, which should be pretty awesome. This is a 3.5-inch round for the anvil. I designed this in CAD, and I laid it out to make it super heavy duty. It's only a 15-pound hammer, but if you think about somebody hitting really fast with a 15-pound sledge, there's a lot of inertia. There's a lot of shock that it receives. So we went with 1 inch thick on the spine of it, 1 inch thick on the base plate. It has these heavy gussets here that are 1/2 inch thick steel. This doesn't get welded in until the final alignment. But we also made a ton of progress. Jared did some machining. He made up the ram guide assembly, drilled and tapped all the alignment screws for that. This unbolts here, which is pretty cool way of holding the alignment part together. This, I got to brag on Jared. This is the alignment plate, and you can see these nest together with these dowel pins that ensure that if this ever gets unbolted, the ram guide assembly ever gets unbolted, it goes back perfectly like it was. So I've designed this so that eventually the ram guide assembly will be welded in like that to hold the ram. And you can, just unbolt this right off. So yeah, Jared did all the machining on these plates. We did laser cut these plates, but nice work on those dowel pins. That's really sweet. Jared also finished up the bottom die holder and the upper die holder. So because this is a cymbal maker's hammer, all of the dies are round because you're hammering round. You're dealing with a round object, no rectangle or square dies. So these are designed to have a set screw. Jared machined these out of 4140. That is the bottom, which will look sweet welded into the anvil. And then this will be the upper die, which gets welded into the square ram. We have the ram material. Jared has to machine that still. But yeah, we've made a ton of great progress on this hammer. I thought about doing a build on this, but a build video, but I'm not going to for several reasons. But I will say, the Bulldog videos, if you haven't seen those, you can go back and watch those. But the Bulldog style of how the ram guide bolts up is similar to what I'm doing, but it's usually more extended for the throat of the hammer. What I've done by having this laser cut is I've extended the plate out, and now the bolt up is really tight. I love that a lot better. I actually wish that we had built maybe all 3 of our Bulldog style hammers in this style, because this is really the way to go. But it's a professional build that we're doing for someone else, so we weren't going to skimp on anything on this thing. But I will share more about this custom build as we move along, but I just wanted to bring you guys in and show you this part of it. Pretty cool hammer. It's going to rock. Jared and I also spent a ton of time this week forging these flower scrolls on the Edgar Brandt table project. I was hoping to have this video out this week, but that'll be next week or the following. There's 2 great videos coming out. That one and also the final reveal on our oak leaf driveway gate project. Those should be pretty cool. If you're not subscribed, I encourage you to do that so that you can catch those. But yeah, great week in the shop. Lots of good things happening. Just a few things I wanted to share. We're also working on a few other things that I can't share yet, but hope to in the future. As always, thanks for being here. God bless you, and we'll catch you on the next one.